Howdy, everybody. What's up? Let's go. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's do this. Operation 9812. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, folks. Feedback Friday, as always, on Friday. Well, apart from last Friday. What's going on, Jeremiah? So tunes. Jimmy, what up? How you doing? Hello, hello. Yeah, so if you don't know how this works, this is how it works. Basically, we have a feedback section here on the code. Boom, just like that, and you can post your work here like this. Do something like that. You post, add the image or the link if it is a video game. All right. Let's go, Operation, for the sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hype in the chat for you, my friend. Appreciate you. My little hype thing isn't working. Probably fix that. Streamlabs. What's going on, Pixel Toast? Hope you're doing well. I'm not too bad, thanks. Just chilling. Just chilling. How you doing, Pixel Toast? Been working, really. Just been working. New video hopefully soon. It's almost done. It's almost done. What's going on, Kong Fist? Hello, hello. Appreciate you too, man. Keep it up. Best man in the Pixel game for sure. I haven't actually made a Pixel video in a while. I made a Pixel video in a while, but I do appreciate that, and I'm glad you like the videos. Okay. So basically, folks, what we're going to do is give some feedback. I'm new to pixel art and your videos are very helpful. Try and animate my first scene. Let's go. Best of luck with that, Fanatic Moon. Hope it goes well. Hope it goes well. Pudnik, what's going on? How you doing? So give me a sec. I'm just making sure the bot. Okay, the bot is live. There we go. Now it should work. Hype in the chat for you. Boom. There we go. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Okay, so here's how it works. You post. Evening. You're doing fine. Thanks. Good to hear. You post your thing in here. Boom. Add your image or whatever, and then we give feedback. I didn't do it last week, but this week we're back at it. Let's see where we got up to. I think there's quite a lot, which is kind of good because it gives us the opportunity to build a little backlog. So how many we got? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 36. Got a lot to get through. We got a lot to get through. First one's a demo as well. Hey, so what's going on, Marge? How you doing? Missed you last week. Hope all is going well. Yeah, not too bad. Just been busy lately. You know, just been busy. It's coming up to Christmas, so work's really busy. There's a lot going on IRL. But yeah, we're back at it. We're back at it. In fact, when is the next one? Next one, Christmas? No, 22nd. We're good. We're good. But I hope you're doing well, Marge. What's up, Minso, as well? It's been a while. How are you doing, Minso? So yeah, this is our first one. We're just going to jump straight into it. We're just going to jump straight into Feedback Friday. This might finally be the FF stream you get to mine. Maybe, Zai. Where's yours? I mean, we've still got a way off yet. Zai. Oh my goodness. Maybe, Zai. Did you put your thing on it? Did you tag it? Where is it even? Where even is it? This one, Dicey Mechanics, 2D pixel platformer for game jam. That one. Okay, no problem. Yeah, we'll get to that one. No doubt. Scrolled past it. Okay, got you. Ripped off by a plumber yesterday. Ah, no way. Can you not be ripped off? Can you get that back? Christmas brings lots of joy, lots of busyness at work as well. What's going on, Fatiago? What's going on, Mio Staffer? How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty well, thanks. What up, Jones? There are two different chats, by the way. If you don't know who I'm talking to and you think that your chat is dead, it's just because you're on Twitch or YouTube and the other person is on Twitch or YouTube. There's two chats. There's YouTube chat, there's Twitch chat, because I stream twice, so. There should be a joint chat, I think. Like, I don't know why there isn't. I don't know why there isn't a joint chat, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's start with this. I'm new. I am the An indie game. Stormwell in the studio. Here is the game demo in the devlog series on YouTube. I was inspired by cute up arcade game Fantasy Zone. I created all the art myself in Sprite and made the game using Godot engine. Okay, let's play it. Hopefully, it's not a downloadable game. It's not. Easy win. Already we've won. Already we've got a win. Because we don't play downloadable games because people get scammed. This was made in Godot, which is nice. Let's check it out. Boom, boom. Doesn't have a full screen button, which is not as nice. That's okay. We can just scroll. F11. Boom. You're both on Twitch and YouTube. Let's go, Mustafa. I like it. What if I comment on both? You can do that. Maybe because they're a ghost. Yeah. Hope you're having a pleasant end of the year. It's going. It's going, Oppie Ravella. What's going on? How are you doing, Oppie, by the way? Hey, chat and soul. Good Friday for all. Good Friday to you too, Lich Bones. Let's check this out. Flavors Strike Demo. The milk and white chips is what we are looking for. The strawberry choco chips are not tasty. Stay away, cookie. The strawberry ones look nice though. What do you do with the bold bucks? You can save them up and use them for like feedback on a non-feedback day, like Monday or Wednesday. What up, Blizzard? Like, how you doing? So what do I do here? So we get the choco chips. Nice. Whoa, whoa, what was that? Avoid these ones. I don't know what that is. That looks like a good chocolate chip, but it's not. Okay. Can't really see because my head's in the way, but so far, so good. We are choco chipping it up. Is there like a particular goal here? I'll just try to get as many as possible. Avoid the pink ones. That was a goal. Is this my spaceship? What is it? Can I shoot? I can't shoot. For your first game, let's go. This is exactly what a first game kind of should be like, right? You're learning how to do things, you're spawning different items in, you are making the graphics yourself, popping them into the engine. Like, these are all very, very good little tasks that you've done to help learn game development. Very basics of that. Lizard like, thanks for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate that. Too loud. My bad. I don't mind using them for feedback. Kind of feels like I'm bribing you. Fair enough. Ghost chip. A bonus in every level. Okay. Peanut butter chip. Not yummy to collect. We didn't even see one of those. Or I didn't anyway. Not always yummy to collect. Not yummy to collect. Okay. There you go. And you've got a little menu system and everything. I mean, feedback wise, what could I give? I think you've done... Looks like a tip. Hope it's a spaceship tip. I know what you mean. I wish I didn't, but I do. Yeah. What's your favorite pixel art program at the minute? I mean, I mainly just use Clip Studio Paint for all of my art stuff. But if I'm going to do only pixel art, it's Sprite. If I only do pixel art, it's Sprite. But if I'm doing pixel art, maybe something else, it's Clip Studio. That's just because Clip Studio does not just pixel art, but everything. But if I am just doing a pixel art piece, Sprite is the one. Sprite is the one. Everything else is secondary. But if you can't afford Sprite, you can always use Libre Sprite, which is basically a free version of Sprite. It is missing some features, but I don't know exactly which features it's missing. And I only really use the brush and the fill tool anyway, so I don't think it really needs craziness. Sprite's tileset mode got out of beta recently, and it seems really, really good. Yeah, I used that when it was in beta. I've had that for over a year now, and it's pretty good. I personally don't use it for anything, so you know, I'm not gonna really use it for anything. So I might explore what it could be used for. But yeah, this Flavor Strike was a nice little game. I think you've done a great job at creating your first little game, and like I said, going over some elements which are going to help you learn game development. I would say just keep it up. I'd say just keep it up. Keep making little games like that. Mesh chair. It's IKEA Marcus chair with this actually is just a bit of cloth that I've like cut out and then pinned it to the headrest, because the headrest was made out of like faux leather, and because I've got a bald head, my bald head is like sandpaper, and it can be like sandpaper, and it like completely destroyed the back of the headrest. If you look at older videos, you'll see it actually, and someone commented on it and it was like, do you know what, I'm gonna fix that, and I did fix it with this little bit of cloth. But anyway, talk about on stream. Next up, let's go. Right, let's blast through some of these, shall we? Soon I think I'm going to buy Asprite for game dev, but I'm not sure whether I want to use Pygame in Python or STL. Oh, I couldn't help you there. I couldn't help you there. I only use Godot. Don't badmouth the bald head. I meant below the headrest. Looks like mesh. Yeah, like a meshy type thing. Nice because the fan blows my back even when sitting down. That's yeah, I didn't really think about it like that. It's usually cold here, which is why I got a jumper on, so got to worry about that. But next up, it is sacred. Next up, it's done the thing where it's jumped off. So here we are. Want feedback for the shirt of this character. The shirt is one color, but I want to ensure that it looks like it is around the character, so simple shading. This is what I have currently and would like another set of eyes to give it a look and see if there's something different, less, more, etc. to achieve the look. Thank you for any and all help. Right now, the shirt is using a coloring for rendering a cylinder. I'm not sure if that is right to show a shirt being worn on a body. I think this is the last tweak I'll need to make before start making the walk attack. Okay, so to be honest, you got such a small pixel size here. Godot free, yes, it's own free, and it uses GD script, which is it's a lot like Python. If you know Python, you'll pick it up very, very easily. I really like GD script, actually. I think it's a very nice language. I came from Unity and C#, and GD script is just so fast with iteration. Just so fast to quickly iterate and quickly prototype. And that's what I want from game development. Godot's open source as well, so if you want to add anything, you can, or you can request things. Shirt looks fine to me. This is what I'll say. The shirt looks fine to me. I think in this size, you're not really going to be able to get across a huge amount of detail. I mean, I think what you've got and what you've done is actually really good because, like I said, in this size, you're not going to be able to get a huge amount across anyway. Like you could try and usually you might see something where like you'll identify the top part of the body and the lower part of the body, like something like that. And but that makes the character look a little bit more ripped, obviously, because you're highlighting like pectoral muscles which are protruding out rather than you're highlighting the pectoral muscles which are protruding out in the abs as well. Whereas you know, or you can make them look like boobs or whatever. But generally, just a standard cylinder is good. I don't think you really need to overcomplicate it. What you had was fine. I think the only thing that you should probably be careful of with dithering styles is it's going to be harder to animate because of each of the little dithering dots. And if you're making like different poses and things, you have to not only track the main shapes, like the shape of the glasses, the silhouette of the hair and stuff like that, the big circles of the hair like that. The way I see this hair is there are 3 circles, right? This circle, and this circle here. So you'll have to track those shapes, but not within that. You'll also have to track each of these individual dithering squares and animate them and make sure they don't look funky. So that's what I'd say is just be careful a little bit with when it comes to animating very, very detailed characters. Like maybe you don't want that much detail for that because it's going to start to look messy. But overall, your values look quite good and your textures look nice. The shading looks fine. I don't think you've done anything that looks off here. I think that could pass very well as a top, as a shirt. Like I said, maybe you could add like a little section just to differentiate the top and bottom part if the character is like musclier or not. Doesn't really matter. If it's not, you could even just give them a big round belly as well, a little bit chunkier. Just think about light in that way and how that works. Like if you have a muscly person, they'll have like pecs like that, you know what I mean, and then abs, pecs and then abs like that, and the light will sit like here and here. Whereas not that, you might get more light here with a chunky belly. You know what I'm saying? If the character reminds me of a broccoli. Yes, it does. My cousin is an IT engineer who's into game development. He also said Godot's great. Yeah, Godot is really good. Really, really good. It's one of the popular ones now because Unity kind of pooped itself a little bit, didn't it? Pooped itself with one of the recent updates. Now the only game dev stuff that I recommend is Godot and Game Maker. Because I've used Game Maker and I've used Godot. They're the only ones that I recommend. And Game Maker changed their pricing policy recently, which is amazing, actually. Which is amazing because Game Maker is really, really good. Unity's also so slow and doesn't feel so smooth in my opinion, but I guess it's for bigger projects. It used to be the go-to, but it did shot itself in the foot with some of the price and stuff and some of the decisions, and I personally would never trust them ever again and will never recommend Unity to anyone. It doesn't matter. I will never recommend Unity to anyone, personally. That's your decision, you know? You have to make that for yourself. Don't just listen to me. I'm just some random person on the internet. Okay. Alice said execution. Oh, let's go. Got some nice like hit stop frames here. Hi, you may refer to me as Zohirius. What's going on, Zohirius? I would like to know if you know anyone that draws their viewers OCs. I'm not sure. I don't know about that. Oh, this is sick. Look at this. Really cool style. Hit stop animation. Looks sick. Let me have a look at this again. You better get going, no worries. So, this is cool. The one thing that I'd like to see in this is, like, the character's got quite a large sword. And I'd like to see... Looks like Earthbound characters. Oh yeah, from the previous one it does, yeah. That's very common, like, style, like a Undertale type Earthbound style, like flat 2D almost characters. In that, like, front-on, top-down pose view. I like it. The one thing I wish the sword had a little bit more weight to it, you know? The art style is really cool. The animation's nice. The, keep up the grind up, all your work. Hey, no worries, Operation. I appreciate you subbing today and for hanging out and for the kind words. Have a great rest of your day, my friend. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you hanging out. So... I'd like to see more weight with the sword. Like the sword just looks like kind of small. Lich Bones with the prime. Let's go. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. What a legend. Hype in the chat for Lich Bones, everybody. So I think, yeah, the sword just looks a little bit too easy to throw around, even though it's such a big sword. And the other part which looks a little bit off to me is when they pull out the sword, it's like an instant from inside to being over here. You'll see that now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just now. Like, it would be cool if it was like drag a little bit back and had a little bit more weight to it, you know? Like, extending those frames a little bit might make the impact feel a little bit stronger. Like, the hit stop frame is kind of nice. I understand that hit stop is like a big thing with hit stop's a big thing with animations, especially video game animations. It was in that like Smash Bros thing, right? It was in that Smash Bros thing. But it doesn't quite look, this hit stop, it doesn't quite look like it's actually hit the character yet. You know what I mean? It doesn't quite look like it's hit the character yet. So maybe I'd have it just a little bit closer in, you know? For that hit stop. Like maybe there's where you want the most of it. Because that kind of just like, while that sword is there, like if you look at it like in frames wise, if you look at it frames wise, like this, boom, 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 animation starts, you've got some smears going on with the style, boom, this is where the hit stop hits. And that feels maybe a little bit too early. Maybe a little bit too early because you can see that extends for a couple of frames. And there is where it feels like you're actually hitting them, you know? I don't know if you're supposed to do it on the frame beforehand or the frame where it's hitting them, but personally it feels a little bit too early to me. You and James Gray are the main reason I started drawing pixel art. That's awesome, Lich Bones. Brandon's a really cool pixel artist. I haven't seen any of Brandon's videos lately, actually. I need to catch up. Love the shadows. Yeah, the style is really nice. I got no notes on the style. I think the style is sick. It's very unique. And yeah, just that little pull out. You've got a little bit of like extended animation here where it's like coming out. Like, I like that a lot. I think that's really cool. But I think you can extend that a little bit more because this feeling of weight that you get from pulling out the sword here, feeling of weight that you get from pulling out the sword here is lost immediately when the sword, like, I'll move my head for this, when the sword just like comes out. You know, like look at that. You go from being in to being completely out with very little follow through animation. You know, like I'd expect some like follow through animation there when the sword comes out in order to give it a bit more sense of weight as well. Boom. But overall is very, very nice. Very, very nice. I think you've done a great job. Thank you very much for sharing. Dark Soul tunes. Very awesome. Spoke about on stream. Hey Soul, started recently with pixel art and your sprite tutorials are a great help. Thanks. Hey, no worries at all. I'm glad you found them useful. Thanks for chiming in and jumping in and saying hello. Okay, next up. Fallout game is amazing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. A forest clearing prior to entering a Zelda-like looping maze. Look at this. Very nice art style. This is really cool. Looks polished as heck. I love the trees as well. It looks dense. Like a dense forest. Lots of things going on. Little mushrooms everywhere. You can't really see everything. I'll move my bald head a little bit. Play this a couple times. The character's really nice. Like a lumber, but with red hair. With female lumber. The one thing I'd say looks a little off with the character animation. Like I'm just noticing this now. Like the character has this idle animation where it seems that they're trying to like dip down or something. Like if you look at the bottom of their legs extending here, you see that? They're like extending there. But the problem is that this knee doesn't move at all. Like look at that knee. You see that? The knee that's closest to you, like the far knee kind of moves. It like moves 1 pixel there, but the close knee doesn't move at all, and that makes it look like the character isn't really bending down. Maybe I would move it in this frame. I would move it like down, maybe just 1 pixel or something like that. That looks a little off to me. Have a look at the other animations. Yeah, the walk animation's okay. Looks a little bit slidey. It's a little bit better in fast motion, but perhaps you need to speed up the legs. Perhaps you need to speed up the leg movement. Have a look at the arms. Might just be prototype for now as well. Have a look at the attack. Not bad. A complicated character, which is hard to do. Yeah, maybe little things, maybe little tweaks, you know, little tweaks here and there I think could help. Oops, sorry. Little tweaks here and there could help polish that up a little bit. But overall, the style is really nice. And the idol looks stiff, but I think that's just because you can't really see the leg moving too much. But overall, it's a very cool style. Spoken about on stream. Very cool style, very nice atmosphere. You've got a really cool thing going on there. Maybe just a couple of things to polish up in terms of like the character. But other than that, like it looks really cool. Okay, I'm trying to start doing some art for when I have to make some art for my game. Hope you get me some advice. Have a look. This is what we're looking at. This looks great. This is cool. Very unique style, you know? Very, very unique style. I think the character looks almost elemental in like sandy in one and water or ice or something in the other. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with the character. I don't have the information. Pardon me. I don't have the information, but it looks cool. It looks like a video game character. I don't have any notes for this other than what I would say before, although you've done quite a good job with the animation, is be careful with too much detail when it comes to animation, because you get little details like this in the arm where it kind of looks like you got just like flickering pixels. You can't really see it, folks, in the stream because it's quite small, but I can see it because I'm zoomed in basically. But there are a couple of little pixels which just like flicker on and off that look a little off, and that's very typical when it comes to dithering in pixel characters and you're animating pixel characters like that. You get weird like textural bounces and dots that you don't really notice. So that's what I'd say. Be careful with that with like dithered detailed characters like this. But overall, the design is very cool and I could definitely see this in a video game. Look at that, speeding through. What's next? Dicey Mechanics. This is a game I uploaded. Here we go. This is Zai's game. A game I uploaded for the GMTK Game Jam 2022. I'm submitting it now because GameMaker made web exports free. Let's go. Just want general feedback, mostly about how controlling the player feels and the level design. Please judge as harshly as possible. I will. I will. Okay. Not download, which is amazing. We can follow Zai. Boom. Do you have any tips how to get into pixel art? Yes, start making pixel art right now. Watch my ultimate pixel art tutorial. You'll know everything that you need to know. Just start practicing the techniques. Start practicing the techniques, but not all at once, if that makes sense. Like don't try and consume all of the pixel art tutorial all at once and be like, okay, I know how to do it now. You know, just do maybe challenge yourself to doing like one small piece with dithering, one small piece with pixel perfect lines, one small piece with no jaggies, one small piece with no doubles, one small piece with, you know what I mean? Like if you focus on that in terms of technique, you learn the technique very quickly. But really, if you're just getting into any sort of art or any sort of creativity, the best thing you can do, I think, is just have fun with it. Find some way that you like to have fun. Like, the more that you make, the more that you learn, you know? And over time, you'll get better and better and better. Art especially is not something that you just do and then the next day you're really good at. It's something where it takes years and years of consistent practice and even taking breaks to get inspired to improve at. So you need to find a way that is fun for you. Maybe that's a little project. Maybe that's a little project, like a little video game project that's going to help you make some art. Maybe it's like the September, it's little challenges. Maybe you like to do that. For me, when I was first starting to make art, it was always fan art. So I would do fan art of characters that I liked. I would draw characters that I liked from video games and movies. And as time went on, I wanted to make my own things and make my own characters. So that was how I had fun with it when I first started as a kid. But now I like to make my own thing. So don't stress yourself too much, Lame Scorpion. Just start making some stuff and try and have fun as much as possible and learn as you go. But anyway, let's try this out. Small. That's okay. We can zoom. Press enter. Oh, what the heck? Okay. Press enter to start. Yes, this is Dice. Nice. Okay, got the nice got the okay, you've got variable jumping, which is nice. You've jump buffering there, which is nice. You have corner correction. Maybe no corner correction. No corner correction, which might be something you want to add at some point. Depends on how... what's up, Dom? So what's this? You jump on this? Or you double jump in this? What do you do with this? Oh, you can just wall jump. Okay, so this looks like an obstacle. Because of the art, that looks like an obstacle that you can kind of jump on or do something with. Because I haven't seen it yet. I guess it's a tree. But it doesn't, it looks like an obstacle. Okay. You don't die straight away, which is good. Okay, so you've got a... Did you read the description, by the way? I didn't. Let me do that. Theme is roll the dice in this game. A dicey randomly decides what platform or mechanic you have. Since I didn't have enough time to make a tutorial here, the mechanics are controls for them. Double jump, it's a double jump. Wall jump, it's a wall jump. Shovel works like a shovel mechanic. Hold down while in the air to use it. Hammer, press X or K on the ground. I didn't make art for the player because I didn't know what to make. Okay. I see. I see. A lighter outline will work? Yeah, probably. So with this jump here, this is a... That's a coyote jump. I'm sure you remember those from Faceplant playtesting, but that's a coyote jump. which is generally to be avoided with level design. Coyote necessary jump. You got a lot of them, it seems, actually. But overall, it feels nice. It feels maybe a little bit jittery. Like the camera movement feels very jittery. I think maybe you have like a pixel perfect camera. Is that what's going on here? Pixel perfect cameras can feel very, very jittery. Yeah, I'm not going to get up there. Damn it. God damn it. Camera sticks to the pixel grid. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Kind of annoying for my eyes. Feels, you have a little, your jumps are a little bit broken because you have, I know you have Coyote time, which is good, but you have, sometimes you can get a double jump when you spam the control input. And maybe you're not intending to get a double jump, like there. So maybe there's something going on with your logic, your jump logic. It's a weird bug. I know this because literally everything that I'm seeing here, I've had the same problem with faceplant. Literally every single one of them. It'll just be to do with like your logic, probably. One thing like ruling out the other almost. Overall, it feels really good. I don't like the camera, but that's just because of the jittered nature of it. Like, it feels quite harsh. It feels quite harsh, the jittery. What is the tune? Do. I don't actually know what it is. I don't know what it is. Yeah, but you've got a lot of Coyote jumps everywhere. Coyote necessary jumps. Which is not really what you want with level design. Like, you remember with faceplant, I had to go through basically every single jump and remove the coyote jumps because because you're the developer, right? You know exactly when to jump. You designed the levels and stuff, but in my mind, I jump there, you know? I have to jump before I leave the platform. Unless I'm telling myself to do something which isn't there, you know? God damn it. Spikes are almost identical to the ones in Celeste. They could be. Make another object that follows the player at slightly slow speed and make the camera lerp to that. Still tunes. What up, Jeremiah? How you doing today? Yeah, I don't really know where to go now. Don't really know what to do now. I'm kind of stuck here. Go back? We can't go back. Just, I don't know. This is probably where I would give up if I was playing this and it wasn't. If I was just playing this and it wasn't for feedback, this is where I would give up. Because I don't know what to do here. What's the term used for the jump while being off the platform? That's a coyote jump. Coyote timing. That's called coyote timing because of Looney Tunes. If you've ever seen Looney Tunes and the Wile E. Coyote. Dave and Twitch, what's going on, Dave? Thank you for taking a look at my game clip. Appreciate it. I'm fixing her knee now. Let's go, Dave. Thanks so much. You didn't have to drop any bits, but I appreciate that. And Twitch has added. They've added more. For some reason, there's something going on where if you drop bits, it you know, it adds whatever. But yeah, your game looks awesome, Dave. I appreciate you sharing that with us. The game looks really cool. The style's really nice. I love those kind of Zelda-like. There we go. I love those kind of Zelda-like games. So I'll be so down to play that whenever you've got a demo. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. You meant to go up? Are you? Okay. This is where I would give up, just so you know. Because it doesn't feel like I can go up. It feels like even Level design is hard, right? Level design is hard. This doesn't feel very good. Like this little corner thing feels really annoying. And I can't make it across those spikes, so it feels like I can't make it, you know? This is the thing with level design and being good at platformers. Because I know Zai's good at platformers. And when you're good at platformers, they kind of need to be... You kind of need to be bad. You force yourself to be bad. Like, there we go. Nice. Force yourself to be bad. Oh, and I start there. You're joking. Yeah, I would definitely quit there. Because this doesn't feel very consistent. Like, this jump doesn't feel very consistent. I mean, maybe there's something, maybe there's like a thing to do for it, but it just feels bad. It feels bad to me. And there should be a little... Like, where the fuck do you go there? Like, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably give up there. I'd probably give up there. Looping towards something that follows the player results in the camera lagging behind and skewing the view to show more of what the player, rather more than what the player is heading, which can cause players to have less time to plan ahead. How's it going? What's going on, GeoSprite? It works if the character's a ninja and the whole idea is climbing walls. Maybe, yeah. I'll probably be unable to stick around for my feedback, but take care, Soul. I checked the VOD. Hey, no worries at all. No worries at all, RP. Hope you can catch that later on. Use collectibles like coins. Yeah, that's a good idea. Like, show the player where to go a little bit. You can try reloading for a different mechanic, sure. Oh, does it give you a different one every time? Okay. What was that one? Was that wall climb or something? That's what it gave me? Was that wall climb? This is the dice. It might be cool if you could, like, change that throughout, you know? Making new stuff. What's up, Knee Job? No, this is Feedback Friday. This is Zai's game. So what have I got now? So I got double jump now. Triple jump. We got triple jump now. Okay. It's the same levels, right? This is going to be... What I can imagine with this... I can imagine that this is really, really hard to design levels for because you'd have to... You basically are designing a whole different game now. This is a whole different game now. Unless the level has changed. Like, did the design change? I can't actually remember. God damn it. It's the same level for 4 different mechanics. Got you. Can't wall bounce. I forget. See, that's the problem. Like, I've learned... I've learned that... I've learned the wall jump one, and now I don't have that anymore. It's kind of like... It's kind of like playing a Metroidvania, but you lose an ability. And that's really... That feels kind of bad for me, because... Coyote timing. C-O... I'll just write it in the chat. That feels really bad, because it feels like I'm having to relearn the game. You know? It would actually be... It's like a Metroidvania. Like, Metroidvania would almost be better, you know? Because you're advancing your skills as you grow. Whereas now, like, I don't see the point in the dice mechanic. Really. Like, what... Does that happen... Like, look how much easier this is as well. Without the thing. Can I even make it down here? Okay. It's much, much easier than the climb one. So if someone gets one of the mechanics which is harder to start with, their experience of your game is going to be totally different as well. Their experience of your game is going to be totally different to someone that gets the double jump the first time, for example. God damn it. And some of these level designs are just, they're too close, you know? They're too precise. A little bit of leeway helps with the Fuck, like starting all over from there again at a hard section just feels like a punishment. I guess faceplant style. Depends on the game you're going for, I guess. Okay. I guess you could say roll the dice, maybe. Did you achieve any success with the job? I hope you got success. You've been grinding ever since I first saw you. What do you mean? I have a job right now. It's just a job in retail. It's nothing special. That's what you mean. Kind of a roll of the dice, you say? Yeah, except it's not a roll of the dice for the player. A roll of the dice is... A roll of the dice is like... Fuck, man. That's annoying. Like, if the player doesn't know, that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, a roll of the dice could be a cool thing. What might be a cooler way to implement this is if it changed throughout, you know? Like, maybe there are little items that you must collect or little checkpoints after each of these stages that you must collect, which change the way that you play it. Because that way, that could actually be a really good way to do this. Like, let's say each of this was stage-based, because it's essentially stage-based, right? If all of this was, it's essentially stage-based. There are like levels after the other. I know it's one giant level, but it's actually just one platforming level design after the other platforming level design. It would be way better, I think, if you got to the end and there was a checkpoint, and this checkpoint like changed your mechanic. And that's really, really cool, actually. And this was the thing that changed your mechanic, because you know that it's coming, first of all. You know that's coming, first of all, and you have to learn on the fly, which is cool. And it would give you a lot of replayability, because people would play it trying to get different, you know, people would play it trying to get the fastest time to finish it and seeing if they got lucky with the RNG of changing the mechanic. Yeah, there was another game, The Jam, that did that. It was way better. Because I think people aren't going to want to just like jump in and like restart the whole thing again with a different perspective, unless, because it feels like I've had to lose progress in order to make progress. You know what I mean? Which, depending on the game, is good. Some of the level designs a little bit too tight, I think. Spikes, man. I actually hate Celeste spikes. I hate, this is such a like this is such an indie game dev type thing. Just put Celeste spikes everywhere. I get it, because you don't want players to touch things, but it's like, just make a pit. Like, if I miss the jump, just make a pit that I die in. Every corner doesn't need to have a spike on. Like, I would give up here. I would give up here. Yeah, I would give up there. Let's try reloading again. Let's try a different mechanic. See if there is one. See if we get one. Part of the puzzle is to pick the right mechanic. Yeah, that's what it feels like now. Like, now it feels like, well, why would I play with the bad mechanic? Why would I play with the bad mechanic if I... Why would I play with the bad mechanic if I can just reload the game and get a different mechanic? So in that sense, you're not actually giving me anything, you know? In that sense, you're not giving me anything. And also, is it possible to collect all of these things with one of the mechanics, or do you need to have played it with all of them? In that way, it would probably just be better to be because there's no way I can get that with the hammer, right? So that has to be the wall climb one. That has to be the wall climb one. God damn it. Should have just... I can't see down either, so I don't know what's down. Not death, thankfully. But overall, it's a really interesting idea, and it's quite well done as well. I think your level design is good, but I think your level design is catered to platform pros. It's clear because I know you're a platformer pro. So I can tell that you've done the level design, you know? I can tell that you've done the level design because it's very, very precise. And someone who isn't as good at platformers is going to have a difficult time. And that might be what you want. It might not be, but also some of the jumps are just a little. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, random spike. Yeah, some of the level design is very, very difficult, very precise. But overall, it's very cool. I think you've done a great job. I think I think it has potential. I think it just needs a little bit of like tweaking, you know? It needs a little bit of tweaking. I do actually really like this mechanic. I've never seen a mechanic like this before. I think that's really cool. I struggled too. You struggled with it too, did you? I am emo. Yeah, I've never seen mechanic like that before, which is really nice. If you have to go from A to B, that could be different parts of the level design for each ability. The random ability you get would make it easy in one of the sections. That's kind of how it works now. Like some of the sections have like, it's impossible to do it with one of them. You know what I mean? Is what it feels like. So, but the other one, it's a little bit easier. Like wall climbing, that was really, really hard. But hammering this is not as bad. You know, it's not as bad. It's so well made that you have to make it worse. Yeah, basically. Wonder at which point in the pit do you die. It's supposed to be difficult, but not frustrating. Okay. Yeah. I'd say it's kind of frustrating because of the checkpoints. And the, like, almost hidden spikes sometimes. Fuck. They're not really hidden. They're just in a place which causes frustration, you know? Like the one where you drop into it, you know? But overall, it's very, very good. Overall, it's very good. I think you've got a lot of good ideas here, and I think it could be polished into something... I think it could be polished into something which works really nicely. Character-wise, I don't know. I don't know what would work. But it's interesting. It's a very interesting game. You got some cool ideas there. What else have I not used? The shovel? Let's see if I can get the shovel. I'd like to try the shovel, because the shovel in... the shovel in... Not Shovel Knight. What is this one? Is this double jump? Double jump. I don't want double jump. See, now, just to test the game, I have to just refresh the page. What's the... Not shovel in... DuckTales. Shovel in DuckTales is like one of my favorite platforming mechanics. There we go, shovel. How do you do that? That one. Okay. So it's basically like you have to press jump. Or do you have to press jump? Oh, that's what they're for. Okay, so the shovel does that. That's nice. That feels great. You could create a whole game literally just off the shovel. Scrooge's Cane and DuckTales, exactly, yeah. Yeah, this feels really good. You could literally make a whole game out of this. Ignore the rest of the mechanics. Because that's the thing. I think that's the problem with this. Is like some of the mechanics just don't feel as good as the other ones. Whereas this feels absolutely awesome. Like, this feels great for a mechanic. This, as a precise game, works really well. Like, that's fun. You know what I mean? This is just Shovel Knight. Well, not really. I've played Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight isn't really, like, super difficult platforming, I don't think. Shovel Knight is pretty basic platforming, and it has a shovel, and you can use the shovel like this, but it's not... This is like Celeste level platforming. Like the hard levels. This is like hard levels of Celeste platforming with the shovel. That's how I'd see that. Shovel Knight isn't hard. Yeah, Shovel Knight is very easy. But this is fun. Yeah, that mechanic's really fun. Oh, I can't get back up there now. Can't get back up there. That was easy. This is interesting, actually. It's kind of like a demo for what mechanics are interesting, you know? But this might be cool as like a player choice thing as well, like pick your mechanic. Because some people might like the wall climb thing. You know what I mean? I don't like it. Personally, I thought the wall climb was the worst one. Thought the wall climb was the worst one. It just felt a little bit janky. What makes the player want to play again once they've finished the level once? Yeah, nothing, I don't think. Nothing, and that's what we kind of spoke about before with, like, I think if there were checkpoints which changed your mechanic, like, maybe it would be less about, like, playing again and more about, like, trying to find different areas in the game, right? Like, maybe it could be on a timer as well. Like, maybe you have a minute. Yeah, every time you die or something. Maybe it could be 1 minute. The collectibles, I guess. I don't really care about the collectibles, honestly. Like, just being honest about it, I don't really care about collecting all those collectibles. What I care about is finishing the game. And that isn't, to me, collecting the things. To me, finishing the game is just seeing all of the platforming. Because I'm there to platform, really. I'm not really too bothered about the little collectible things. I know that's like your goal, right? That's your incentive that you're trying to get people to play for. But to me, that doesn't... I'm not really bothered. I feel like players would play it once and not realize there's many different ways to play it. Yeah, probably just because there was no, like... I guess you'd need to finish it in order for it to reload. Like, is there an end? Is there like an A to B point? And that's even... You don't have to collect everything in the way. Like, I probably wouldn't play again just to collect everything, though. That's the problem. I feel like it might be better if it was just one giant level and it was mostly like a Metroidvania. Or perhaps the roll of the dice thing is a certain amount of time. You have a certain amount of time, or maybe it's based on death. I can imagine time being quite fun, but also really frustrating. Where, like... I think death is probably better, because you could be in the middle of a section and the time runs out, and that would be annoying. So, I think... gives you a reload button once you beat it, except you can't beat it. Except you might not beat it. Like Minute, but every time you restart, you have a different power. Yeah, exactly. Like, you have a certain amount of time to get... to do your thing. And that way it would be about, like, routing the area, right? Like, because Minute's really fun. And Minute kind of has that. But Minute's really good. Minute's just a really good game. But maybe something like that, time-based, but death-based works really well as well, though, I think, where you get one chance. You get one chance, you die, you get a different ability on your rebirth. I think that's good because that gives you the opportunity to, like, explore and, like, maybe you can't go the same way. I think that would work a lot better. I think that would be exciting, actually. I think that would be really interesting because you'd be forced to try different things. Yeah, I think that would be cool. And try things in different ways. But overall, that's really cool, Zai. I think we could talk about this game for a long time. I think we could talk about this game for a long time because it actually has a lot of potential and there are a lot of different ways you could do it. And it's fun. So I think you've achieved a great thing here in making a fun game. Unless each mechanic has a different starting character. Yes, something like that. Does this game have a name? Dicey Mechanics by Zai. Speedrunning gives you clothes. Yeah, that would be cool. Right, here we go. Thank you so much for trying. No problem at all, Zai. I think you've done an awesome job. I think you've done a really good job. Right, here we go. Next up. Lazy Puddings. What could I improve on this? Said Lazy Puddings. So far, what I can see, nothing. Looks amazing. See what people said. Brain sees the right horn and right ear is different color. Put the eyes into consideration. Why don't we see a bit of the front of the backpack? It's simply a narrow backpack. Seems like a huge adventurous backpack. With black outlines for almost every element except the backpack side pockets. What's happening with the right hand? Probably makes more sense in the finished version. Have a look. The yellow is so nice. It is nice, right? I think it's so nice as well because not just of the base yellow, but the shadow yellow, like this orangey type yellow. I think that helps a lot, doesn't it? Speedrunners would die on purpose to get the best ability for specific areas. Yeah, that would be interesting to see. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. I like the way that like one side of the character is in shadow. The only thing that looks a little bit off with that is like, I guess this plane of the character is in shadow here, and you've got that consistent with the ear and the backpack and the ear, the horn. But it's not on, and the foot. But because this foot is on the same plane as this jumper and this arm, it kind of feels like they're not on the same plane a little bit. Like maybe, I wonder what it would look like if this side of the jumper was also in shadow, you know? Feel like that reads a little better. Same here. Like, if this is, I know they're touching, but like the way that the light is working, it's just because this side, right? It's just because the way that this is drawn, like it looks like this entire side should be in shadow here. Like everything there. You know what I mean? Just because of the way that the foot and the backpack and the ear works. Like maybe even the face as well. It's not much either, but it's like, that might be too much. It's not much, but it does change it quite a bit. Where's the other light? Where's the light red? There it is. Just change it quite a bit. I'm just going to do this quickly, like you'd spend more time on it. But can you see how that's, I guess to me, that's adding more to the form, because you've kind of got these strong form shadows everywhere else on the feet, which looks maybe a little bit inconsistent. And by doing that, you're making it appear a little bit more consistent. The other thing I'd say is this part of the backpack here looks quite flat, whereas the character's back is there. And if the light is on the character, and this looks like a front view here, a front light almost, like the light is literally directly forward. And I feel like there'd be more shadow behind the character onto the backpack as well. Like something like this, you know, in more darkness. Now that might not work because you already have dark hair. Like I can see why you want a lighter color here, because the hair's quite dark, but maybe just a touch. Maybe just a touch would push that a little bit more. Like I know that the hair is really dark here, so perhaps maybe some bounce light or something could help that. Because you're surrounding the hair with an object, like maybe just add a little bit of light to it then to make it stand out in that case. Great feedback, Saul. You should be an art director. I ain't got the skills for that. Or the life experience. Yeah, overall, I say the character's really cool. Overall, the character design's really cool. Just maybe a little bit of inconsistency with the shadows and your lighting setup. Just because of how far you've pushed back the leg and the shoe, you know? I've had art directors that couldn't do what you do. You definitely could. I think in order to get into the art director position, though, you have to have worked as an artist for a long time, right? What's going on, noob? What's going on, Unknown? How are you doing today? I like to call this style low-res art instead of pixel art. Call it whatever you want. I call it pixel art because there's a lot of pixels which have definitely been placed. Like my personal distinction between low-res art and pixel art is pixel art to me is just something which concerns individual pixels. And if a large portion of the piece has concerned individual pixels, you were concerned with the individual placement of pixels, then to me, that is pixel art. Like, yeah, that's my personal definition. But everyone has a different definition. I don't actually like debating the definition of it because it's like, well, does it really matter? Let the historians figure that out. But overall, this is a very cool piece, regardless of the medium, you know? Yeah, when people say low-res art, I think of low-res 3D art. Yeah, that's what I think of. How long do you think you'll need to finish Facepaint? Not sure, because I work, and I don't really work on it at the minute. So quite a while, probably. Quite a while, unfortunately. But yeah, overall, this is a great piece. This is a very, very nice piece. I think you have a very strong shape, very strong style. Maybe just a couple, like I've shown here, a couple of inconsistencies with the shadow that could help, just depending if that's the style that you want to go for, you know? Depending on that's the style that you want to go for, because that obviously works. Just, to me, feels a little bit off with the shadows there. But fantastic character. Fantastic character, fantastic design, fantastic shapes, fantastic colors. Especially the shoes. I mean, that looks really good. I mean, look at this. There's a lot of pixel placement being done there, so I would say very, very nice. Spoke about on stream. That would be low poly. Ah, yeah, low poly as well. Yeah, I'm confusing it as well. I'm confusing it with low res graphics. Yeah. I'm exhausted and a bit sick, so I'm going to lie down. If you get to Gobblezilla today, I'll check out the VOD. Keep up the good feedback. So thanks, Featherwalk. Appreciate you. Hype, I hope you're feeling better soon, Featherwalk. Hope you're feeling better soon. Pixel art is pixel art, which means that pixel art, that art is... Yes, exactly, Jeremiah. Yeah. I don't concern myself too much with the definition of these things, because you can get into a lot of debates, especially it's pixel art specifically. Like pixel art specifically is to me pixel art is a spectrum, you know. There isn't like this is pixel art, this isn't pixel art. Like there's a level of input needed for pixel art, right? But then again, if you made a pixel art piece where you just randomly placed pixels, would that be a pixel art piece? See that you can't get into it because it's just so complicated. I don't think it's that simple. I will let the historians. I hope I didn't just start an argument. No, you're good. You're good, Pudnik. It's an interesting topic. My take on it, my final take on it, is that I don't actually care. Just make anything. Just make something. Okay. Next up, let's have a look. Looking for general feedback. I don't have a lot of experience drawing characters, so any feedback is well appreciated. I tried making something in a smaller canvas, and I think my biggest issue is trying to fit a lot of detail in very little space. I agree. Yeah. I think your character silhouette is actually quite nice with the flow. I think the pose is actually really cool. I think the only thing that's a problem here is you are putting way too much detail into a small character. Not that you should never do that. You can obviously do that if you want, but you're going to struggle hardcore with readability, you know? Like imagine like animating this character. We spoke about this today. That seems to be the... What's going on, Demo? How you doing? That seems to be the theme for today's Feedback Friday, which is animating characters and highly detailed characters, which is really hard. You know, really, really hard to do. And especially designing characters. Like I can kind of see what you've been going for with like the different details, but simplification definitely. Simplification definitely will help the readability for sure. You've changed the eye color. That's good. I'm glad they've changed the eye color, because the eye color before was like this gray. You can see. And now it looks a bit better, definitely. You lose the shapes with all the details. Exactly. That's a great point. And let me illustrate that and what that means. I think that's the most important point there, Dom, is when you design a character, when you design anything. Has anyone done pixel art with triangles instead of squares? What's that called? Yes, that is a thing. I'm pretty sure Brandon James Gray has a video on it, actually. It's a thing, but it's called a specific type of art. Like, what's it called? It's called like... I think not just triangles, like you can do a bunch of different shapes, but like that kind of art with just using a shape, it's called something. I can't remember what it's called. ASCII, maybe ASCII art. Vector art? No, not vector art. I don't see it with vector. Something else. Check out his video. Yeah, he did it with like not just triangles, but he did it with like different things, different shapes, not just squares. Basically, it's a certain type of art. I can't remember. ASCII characters. Maybe that is it. Yeah, maybe ASCII art is the one. If I'm saying that right as well. 80s style art. Let me Google it actually because I want to know what that is. Not really ASCII art. I mean, it is, but it's not. You know, it is, but it's not. Nah, it's not that. It's not what I'm thinking of. Like, vector art, actually, what you meant with vector art there, Pudnik, yeah, it is kind of like that. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean because I'm looking at a reference image here, which is what you mean. Here, like this type of thing where you like build it up with triangles, like that kind of shape-based art. So I know what you mean when you say vector, because that is that. 3D, 60, I can't remember what it's called. Goosework style, geometrical, maybe geometrical, yeah. Maybe geometrical is closer. Like, but like it's not like it's geometric where all of the shapes are the same. Oh, geometric is the closest so far though. It's the closest so far, but it's still not what I'm thinking about. Gooseworks art style. Let me have a look. ASCII C64 art. Yes, almost like that. Yes, CS4 ASCII art. Yes. C64, sorry. Like this, where it's called something though. It's not just called that. It's called something else. Unless I'm just understanding it wrong. Text mode, that's it. Text mode. Text mode art. That, there. Text mode art. That's what I'm talking about. Where you can make it out of different shapes. And not just pixels. Like the shapes come from triangles or, you know. Richer than ASCII. Yeah. And you get a really cool style with it. That's it. Text mode. Thank you. Thank you, Pudnik, for figuring that out. But yeah, Brandon did one, and I thought it was sick. Because you can see the Mega Man style. And this one, which is made from a font as well. Obviously, you can use different shapes. You can use different shapes, not just triangles. But you could just stick to triangles as well if you wanted to. Not Robert. Robert James Greer. Brandon's evil twin or something. Brandon's a really nice guy, by the way. Okay, what were we talking about? Yes, shapes. So, whenever you design a character, I think it always helps to start off with the base shapes of the character. Like the basic shapes. So here's a character here with rectangle legs, triangle feet, and no arms. Okay? Even a triangle hood, maybe. And there's a base character design. This looks like every indie game character ever. Hooded indie game character. Let's do that. Hooded indie game character. Every hooded indie game character ever. Okay? There's your base design. And then the problem, shape language. Yeah, shape language is very important at this stage because, I mean, people interpret shape differently, which is one thing to understand about shape language. Like shape language isn't a set rule. It's more of a guideline because people interpret shapes differently as well. Although there is like a general interpretation of them too. But you have your basic shapes, but as soon as you start to add more detail onto that, like if we do this, we hit spikes, yeah, unless you really like Doritos, for example. Like maybe you've grown up with just this, I don't know, this affinity for Doritos. And all of a sudden triangles are like the greatest shape to you, you know? Depends on you. Can you tell me how to improve at art? Make more art and actively try and learn and study techniques. And that way you'll improve at art. And take your time and have fun because it's going to take a long time. It looks like the Soul Tunes Wizard. Yeah, Soul Tunes Wizard is just a triangle. Literally, just a triangle. But mostly have fun, CapCut Legend, because art takes a long time to get good at. But if you do some practice, some study, and you consistent with your practice, you will improve over time. And you'll notice it as well. You'll notice like a level up. But anyway, as soon as I start to add more shapes to this character, like let's add this here and let's add this, then maybe we'll add a little belt buckle over the top of it and then stuff, and then they got headphones on, and then this actually has little bits of details on there. Like the character's becoming more complicated as it comes, you know? Like maybe the shoes have spikes on and stuff. The more shapes that you add, the harder this becomes to read. And it kind of looks cool, actually. Actually kind of looks sick. But maybe that's just because maybe it looks like a futuristic character, but maybe that's it's a Christmas tree now. Yeah, it's a Christmas tree. Be careful with adding stuff. It's about balance with shapes. And one interesting thing about shapes and shape design and stuff is where you add and don't add stuff. And I think the reason this kind of works in a way is because this whole coat is very complicated, whereas the face is still very simple. So you get that balance there. But if I started adding more shapes to the face, for example, now all of it is complicated and it doesn't work. You know what I mean? So like you can have something complicated, but you'd balance it out with something simple, you know? And that kind of works. We'd have to balance more out because the shoes look too complicated. So maybe I will get rid of some of the detail in the shoes. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it starts to come back together, and you can do details, but you can pull it and push it, you know? Push and pull details, push and pull shapes. Shading can help keep shapes too, shading over the details. That's interesting. Shading can help keep the shapes too. Yeah, that's interesting, yeah. Because if you had, like before, that character, which was like shaded all down one side, if we remember, just doing that, there you go. All of a sudden you have a way to distinguish between things, between the character on one side. Any resources, guide, courses, recommendations for beginners who want to learn pixel art? Watch my ultimate pixel art tutorial, and that has all the information you need to get started. But I'd also personally recommend Pixel Logic. The Pixel Logic book is very, very good. That has is amazing resource for pixel art. Yeah, Pixel Logic book costs a little bit, but it's worth it if you're serious about learning the techniques for pixel art, I think. But it's mostly just going to be practice, you know. Mostly just going to be practice. I wouldn't recommend courses. There's no courses that I recommend at the minute. Because I think just make stuff that is fun. You know, I think it's been so long since I've had to learn art that I don't know how you would go about learning art today. Because when I was learning art, it was just about making art, you know. So my advice is always just to make things that you think are fun. So if you think that, like I said, drawing fan art or something is fun, then maybe that's what you should do. Or if you think that making a little game is fun, or doing challenges or something is fun, like pick what's fun to you. Yeah. Hopefully you have fun. Spoke about on stream. The best course you need is draw everything you want, yeah. But I do understand that courses are useful as well. Which is why I will put one together at some point. Dude, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. How are you doing today, dude? Dude, shift. You can always have some academic drawing and painting courses, but having fun is more important, really. Yeah, no, I agree. Courses are very useful. Yeah, courses are very useful, especially if you don't know what to learn. Like if you're just a beginner, which is why tutorials are fun to look at, and why watching other people's processes is interesting. But you don't want to, the reason I always say fun is the most important is because the art creation process, or like some sort of art creativity process, I don't think you necessarily want to associate that entirely with learning and studying. Well, not in learning, but studying, I guess, if you don't like that. If you like studying, if you enjoy studying, then by all means, that's your thing, you know? By all means, go for it. But if you associate something with studying, but you actually don't really like the studying part of it, you're going to start to have this negative association with the art creation process. And it doesn't have to be like that. Because when I first started making art, I literally, like I said, I would just do fan art. Just do fan art of characters that I like. I'd write my own stories and stuff, and I'd do fan art of characters, like my own characters' stories, and it didn't matter about the quality. And as I got older, I started to study more. And when I started to study more, I actually started to draw less, funnily enough, overall. Started to draw less overall because I started to associate the art process with having to get better, needing to attain some sort of level. So I think it's about balance, really. Like, you should probably study some things, but you should also have fun. And who you are and your personality will decide what balance you need to have, you know? I think. What up, RP? Welcome back. In my perspective, courses are useful when you need to learn something from zero or need to understand more about a specific topic. Yeah, I'd agree, yeah. I'd agree. I think the problem with like an art course, though, is like you can learn programming, right? You can learn programming and you can learn maths very easily. Because it's like A plus B equals C, you know? And that is just a given. That's just a given. Whereas sometimes the problem with tutorials and this problem with beginners in tutorials and stuff like that in courses that I see is when you're a beginner and you don't know anything, you know, you have zero knowledge on the topic and you watch one course, you can't, what I've seen is people will think that is the only way, you know? They'll attach themselves to it because art, and that doesn't really sit right with me with art in particular, because you can do anything, you know, you can do anything, which is why I think art is such a difficult thing to teach and learn, because some people teach in that way as well. Some people, which infuriates me, we'll not get into that debate, but some people teach in the way of like, there's only one way to do something, or there's only one thing to do, like, whereas it's so open, you know, it's so open. Well, I guess a good teacher would teach that, though, which is hard. A good teacher would teach that art is open and you can do whatever you want and it doesn't matter what process you use. In fact, going against the process is a process. Man, art is complicated, really, when you think about it, isn't it? But, yeah, be careful about that. And be careful about the knowledge-skill gap. That's another thing that I wanted to mention there. The knowledge-skill gap, where if red is your knowledge and blue is your skill, if you acquire too much knowledge, you end up at this point here. This is like the fluctuation through time, but this is time. This is obviously knowledge and skill. If you have too much knowledge at this point here, but your skill level doesn't meet your knowledge, the creativity process is going to feel very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating, because you're gonna know exactly, you're gonna know what you want to achieve, know how to achieve it, but not be able to do it because you don't have the skill yet. You don't have because art is something which requires like dexterity. Yeah, it's like someone who's an amazing fisherman can teach you everything that you need to know about catching a particular type of fish and show you the technique, tell you about the fish's habits, tell you about the right bait to use. But the first time that you throw that fishing rod and you don't catch anything because you're not very good at fishing and you've never fished before in your life, it's going to be very frustrating. And it's the exact same way. It's the exact same thing with art. You can learn a lot. But you might not be skilled yet enough to put it into practice. And the opposite side of that is where you have a high level of skill, or your skill level is higher than your knowledge, and this is where you'll feel lost. Basically, you'll feel lost here because you don't know what you need to do to improve. You haven't got the understanding what you need to do to improve. So the sweet spot is like these areas where your knowledge and your skill match. If your knowledge and your skill match, you know what you need to do to improve or work on or make, and you have the skills to be able to do that. So I think actually there's an even sweeter spot where you just push yourself out of your comfort zone. So I think the knowledge being slightly higher than skill, I think, is the sweet spot that I've found personally, where I know what I want to achieve, and now I have to work hard to achieve it, kind of thing. That pushes me the most, I've found, for me. It might be different for you. And like I said, this is all a personal thing. It might be very, very different for how you learn and what you're into. All the art courses I've seen have one thing in common. The teacher will teach you her or his style and process, but you need to understand general about art. Yeah. His and her style and process, that's why it becomes difficult, right? Because you do want just general fundamentals overall. Big brain over skill issue. Yeah, skill issue, man. Soul tuner. But anyway, let's move on, because I've only got about 7 minutes left. Will we actually get to yours today? I don't know. we spend too much time talking rubbish. Next time I need to have like a section of just blasting through things. But anyway, what can you change about my 1-bit art? Story time. I watched your video drawing pixel art doing it. I give it a try. Sadly lost motivation day 5. Then last day I got an iPod, started drawing often with 8x8 and quickly to 1660. Went in my comfort zone at 32. Lately I moved to 60-64. At that point I got more confident in my skills. It was really hard to follow myself towards perfectionism. Sadly I was never 100% happy with my work, so I changed the art style over time to see if I could find a fitting style for me. Right now I'm experimenting with 1-bit and I'm happy with my creations. I should give some dungeon based theme. Heck, maybe I will use those illustrations for a card game and call it Dungeons and Bits. Copium. Very nice. This is cool. These are really cool. I wouldn't call these 1-bit. They're using layers with different strengths to add more depth. Yeah, I would just call this art then. This is really nice art. This is really nice Robin. This is really nice artwork. Is this you? Very nice. 1-bit art, love it. 1-bit art is very cool. This one's very sick, actually. I love the way you've gotten different... Did you read the terms and conditions so fast? Did sound like that, right? I like the way you've gotten different textures and different, like in these pieces you've used layers and actual different colors or different amounts of colors to get across the depth. But in this one you've just used texture. You've the texture with 1-bit art, and I think that's the special thing about 1-bit art. The shapes are also really cool. These very mysterious looking pieces. This is nice. Look at this. You've got a skill for the 1-bit art. This is cool. I don't really have any feedback for you other than keep it up. I don't have any feedback. I think it looks nice. I think Cross Toast, you're at the point where you have the skills. So maybe what you need to do is just study a bit more in areas that you're interested in. You know, don't go too crazy with everything. Like, pick something that you're interested in. It seems like you're interested a lot in characters here. You can see a lot of characters. Also environments, though, as well. But you have a strong knowledge of this. Just keep going, I think. Keep pushing your knowledge and keep making things. I don't really have any specific feedback for you other than that. I think you have a nice balance going on here. So I'm going to say that. Spoken about on stream. 1-bit art looks really cool. Honestly, could put those in an art gallery. Yeah, I really like 1-bit art. I think those make a great argument for 1-bit tattoos. I thought about that with my Pixel Animals thing. Thought about getting them tattooed. Or one of them, the dragon, at one point. I think I've seen some artists do 1-bit tattoos, actually. 1-bit tattoos, and they look really, really cool. Dude. Just pixel art tattoos in general, if they're done right. Pixel art tattoos, if they're done right, what would be most annoying is if the pixel sizes weren't consistent. But if they were done right, they'd actually look really cool. Like, imagine a huge back piece. Imagine a huge back piece which is all pixel art. You should convert your game into a code and tattoo it so you have it forever. Yeah, I'll get like the QR code for the Steam page or something. But anyway, very cool. Game I want feedback for. This is Jimmy's Agony 2D beat 'em up. I put a post before but didn't put a Steam link, so here it is. Well, it doesn't have a demo, I don't think. So, oh, we've already seen this. We've saw this. We've seen this. We've talked about this, haven't we? Yes, we talked about this. Jimmy's Agony. It was the point and click type game. That'd be great. Yeah, I've thought about doing stuff like that. That would be really sick. Like the Mosaic, but in real life on skin. Why not? Why not? Okay, folks. I think we've seen this. So I'm going to skip this one for now. What if you do naughty work and people wonder, what's that QR code? Instant hit. Where did you put the QR code? That's what I want to know. Right. Okay, folks. Let's check out this last one from East Beast. Let's have a look. This is when you're mid-end, you transition into your falling animation. I feel there is something wrong. I think we need to... do we see all of this in action? I'd like to see it. Did the jumping landing, hoping this can help you. I mean, it seems fine. Mine was just next. Is this your one? This Jimmy's Agony, is this your one? I'm sure we've seen this. Have we not seen this? Did we not look at this? No. The next one. Ah. No, we're on this one. Yours is there. Okay, we'll do yours as well. We'll do yours, Mio Staffer, since you're here. Since you're here, Mio Staffer, we'll do yours as well. I mean, this looks fine to me. To be honest, I think the best way to get feedback on this is exactly what Juho is saying. Put them in the engine, let's see how it looks in game. I agree with Juho. Yeah, we need to see it in engine. It's really hard to like look at one animation, look at the other, and like the transitions will be more easily noticeable when in engine. Can give better feedback. Okay, cool. Next up. I draw Freerin. Guys, I don't know feedback. Who is Freerin? Okay, what have people said? This is Freerin. Okay. Have a look. Proportions, everything looks good. Then the head looks too small for the body size or overall height. If the head were a little bigger, I think it would be just right. Otherwise, looks great, I think. One thing I like to add to the things mentioned here is that the hair could also be a bit thicker. Taking a second, actually 195th look at it. I do think that the head is pretty small. Okay, so we've spoken about proportions before in the past, but there's a really easy way to just do a little bit of observational, like, measuring. There's a really easy way to do observational measuring when you're drawing things. And it is just the head so far that I see looks off. What up, BBS? How you doing? Freereen, you remember this? Yeah. So, like, just look at the basic shapes of things. You know? Let's translate everything into basic shapes. I'm even just going to do upper body, lower body, leg, with foot, leg. I'm not even going to draw that leg with foot. Put a little triangle on. Convert everything to basic shapes. There we go. There we have our proportions. Now you just need to do the same thing. You just need to do the same thing with your character. Because I can see so far that everything looks a little bit... It's mainly the head that looks too small, isn't it? Like, let's just increase the head size. Mainly the head that looks too small. Once you add that head size in, maybe the legs look a little bit too long. Because if you see here, the top part of the leg is too short compared to the top part of the leg here. They're a bit more even. No, they're a bit more even. So I'd maybe push that down a little bit. And move that around a bit. That's how I'd go about like going through the proportions, you know. Chilling, working, how's feedback going? It's going well, actually. This is the last one for today. But yeah, I feel like I made the boots too big. Yeah, you did. I think so. I think so, but the fact that you've spotted that because of the basic shape breakdown, like, that's all you need to do. Just compare, contrast between yours and the reference image that you're using, because you're obviously using this reference image. Also, you've got the eyes like a bit more front on. I don't know if you're like fully going for it, but make sure that the eyes are If you're going for the reference, put the eyes in the same place, you know, like looking towards you. And also, with these types of characters, remember that the best thing to do always is just remove all of the unnecessary features, okay? This is a common mistake I see in anime characters all of the time, actually, is they always have really unnecessary features. And there's one thing you can do about that as an artist. You have the choice to do that every single time. And basically, fix the character. Oh. Basically, fix the character from their burden. You know? Fix the character from their burden. And don't forget. The UFO. There we go, folks. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. She's now free. Exactly, Zan. Be better, be bold. What about the beard? Sometimes. Sometimes you can do a little beard as well. Just depends. Depends how your day is feeling. Okay. That is a meme around here. Backs out into the bushes. Ah, to join the UFO people. I'm flabbergasted. How was unnecessary? Always is unnecessary. Right, folks. I'm going to call it there. Thank you all so much for hanging out today and for chilling with the Feedback Friday. Extremely important UFO. It's always important. Oh my God, it's you. What up, Topo? With the milk. Give me the milk. We're just about to leave, actually, Topo. You've missed the whole stream. Thanks, man. Have a great weekend. You too, Dom. Appreciate you. Appreciate your input as always. Everyone's input today. Appreciate you all. Angler Digital, have a good rest of your day. You too. Ta-ta for now. I remember that this time. Cross toast, I'm about to eat my eggs. Let's go. About to eat my eggs. Thank you, Soul. Lots of fun as always. Majd, appreciate you. What a legend. Mio Stafford, Juho, Baby S. Everyone, have a great one. Have a great day. Ono and Friendo. Goodbye. Zan. Everyone that I've missed, just say something now and I'll say goodbye. Lizard like. Mio, thanks for the feedback. No worries. Thank you for submitting something. We'll hopefully get through a lot more next time. But I'll see you all on Monday. If you're on Twitch, we'll be doing some more game development, some more faceplant game development. So I'll see you on Monday. Peace.